Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. Another week looking at the tropical weather outlook going into next week. Um, my name is Dr. Holly Hamilton, Director of Meteorology at the Turks and Caicos Islands Airports Authority. So let's jump right into it, looking at the surface analysis. We have a tropical wave here, also a low pressure associated with that off the coast of Africa. Um, and then we have a tropical wave here north of South America. We have a high pressure over here in the North Atlantic, and then a weak high pressure here east of the Eastern Caribbean islands. And then we have the remnant low of Milton that passed through Florida in the past couple of days. Now it's a frontal system, and we have a cold front extending from that, which is just west of the Turks and Caicos Islands right here. So taking a look at the satellite imagery, we can pick up some of those features that I pointed out on the surface chart. We have that tropical wave and the low pressure associated with that, some shower and thunderstorm activity associated with that system right off the coast of Africa uh, and approaching the Cabo Verde Islands. And then this is Tropical Storm Leslie. And then we have the remnant low of Milton, and we see some convection associated with that, and not too much convection along that the frontal system itself, but some chances of spotty showers and thunderstorms possible later on today in the Turks and Caicos Islands. That's right here. So looking at the tropical weather outlook, we have Tropical Storm Leslie in the central Atlantic, and then we have that area of interest right off of the coast of Africa over the Cabo Verde Islands. So just a quick look at Tropical Storm Leslie. It's hanging on out there. We talked about him last week, and he re-strengthened a bit earlier this week and back into a hurricane, and now he's downgraded to a tropical storm, or it's downgraded to a tropical storm, and it's going to continue moving around the western periphery of a subtropical ridge, moving further north, and then interact with a trough, and that will take Leslie out to the north and east and out of the area over the weekend. So currently, Leslie has maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour and is moving north-northeast at 10 miles per hour, but we'll see its intensity weaken slightly. It's getting sheared apart, and as it also goes into colder waters, we'll start seeing it weaken, and by the end of this weekend, early next week, that Leslie should be dissipated by then. And then that area interest over the Cabo Verde Islands currently has a 50% chance of development over the next 48 hours and also over the next 7 days. It has a lot of, as you would have seen in the satellite imagery, a lot of showers and thunderstorm activity associated with it. This would be a system to watch to see how it progresses and move into the week. So we'll keep you up to date on that. Just stay tuned to our 3-day weather forecast that we issue 3 times a week. So now looking at the wind and waves for the next 5 days, we have Tropical Storm Leslie, and then the remnant low of Milton, and the cold front that's extending from that across the southeastern Bahamas and just west of the Turks and Caicos Islands. And so we have light to gentle or gentle to moderate winds going on into the weekend. And we're expecting some swells because we have gale force winds, even though this isn't a tropical system anymore. There's still some gale force winds associated with this low pressure system. And so that's going to be pushing swells towards this area here. So that's impacting the Bahamas, even the eastern border of the US, and then also, of course, us. So we're looking at 6 to 8 feet waves moving in tonight. And so that will activate a small craft advisory, and that's mostly along the Atlantic exposures. So on the southern side, So on the southern side of the archipelago, we're looking at maybe 4 to 6 feet and maybe even less than that. But definitely along the Atlantic exposures, we want small craft operators to be careful and avoid entering that area as much as possible. So this is Saturday, going into Sunday. A lot of the same thing. We're looking at 6 to 8 feet in northeasterly swells, starting in on Sunday morning, and then the waves will start to diminish a bit to 4 to 7 feet, and so we'll downgrade the advisory to a small craft caution. So just to still be wary with entering into the Atlantic waters. That that remnant low is starting to move out further into the North Atlantic, but the cold front is still extending here. So again, going into the weekend, there's some slight chances of showers and thunderstorm that could be spurred off with that frontal boundary moving through the archipelago. But again, still winds will be gentle to moderate or light to moderate. And then we start to see that high pressure building behind the wake of that low pressure. So again, winds are still staying pretty light. We see the frontal boundary still hanging in the area here, but the high pressure is building across north of the area, and we start to see the winds diminishing. Sorry, the waves diminishing. So we're looking at 3 to 5 feet. And then again, same for the winds, light to moderate, and the waves continue to diminish going into early mid next week. So 2 to 4 feet on Tuesday, and again 2 to 4 feet on Wednesday. So just a quick summary. We have that remnant low just north of the area with a frontal boundary extending towards the archipelago. Winds are gentle to moderate. Might expect some isolated showers and thunderstorms into the weekend, with swells being generated from that remnant low. We're looking at moderate swells, so be careful, small craft operators entering Atlantic waters, and also beachgoers on those Atlantic exposures along that coastline to the north. Um, but as we go into next week, we'll start to see the seas diminishing, and winds will continue to be gentle to moderate. Waves will be slight seas, so 2 to 4 feet. And so we're looking forward to a pleasant week. And as usual, we encourage you to follow us on social media, keep abreast with our 3-day forecast that we publish 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And with that, I wish you a pleasant weekend, and we'll see you next week.